We're back at it with another show right here on Philadelphia Eagles Now, your home for the best Eagles coverage right here on YouTube. My name is Chase Sr. Thank you so much for hanging out. And coming up here on the program, some game-changing news, stats, and analysis for Vic Fangio's defense going into the 2025 season. You don't want to miss a single second of what we're breaking down on today's show. I do want to talk about this deal, though, thanks to our friends at Fanatics, because it is time sensitive as I record this show on Monday, July 14th. Today only, you get 25% off of Saquon Barkley jerseys on Fanatics. So you use that link down below, chatsports.com/EaglesHomeRun, and you use the code HOMERUN, you get 25% off of Saquon Barkley jerseys, thanks to our friends at Fanatics. These are the Nike replicas here. I'm going to put that link down below in the comment section and attach to the pinned comment. Hop on this deal while it lasts, because the season is going to be here before we know it. It's an opportunity for you to level up your swag game, support the Eagles, support a special player in Saquon Barkley, and at the end of the day, you can support the show as well by using that link, because then Fanatics knows that Chase Sr., Eagles Now, and Chat Sports sent you. So here on the show, I want to react to what Warren Sharp of Sharp Football Analysis had to say about this Eagles defense last year and how it impacts Philadelphia going into 2025. For the last few years, I've been reading Warren Sharp's football preview books, I think dating all the way back to 2021. It is the best book with statistical analysis, betting trends, team spending trends, cap news, player evaluations that I have found that gets me ready for the upcoming 2025 NFL season. And he does these deep dive breakdowns on all 32 teams in the NFL, in addition to a lot of analysis on the NFL as a whole. And it really blows your mind and blows me away personally with how in-depth this book is and just everything that you learn from it. And so he highlighted how brilliant and special the Eagles defense was last year. A lot of people don't realize some of the nuances to what Vic Fangio is able to do, and this should make fans very excited for the 2025 season as the Eagles look to repeat as Super Bowl champions. You think about some of the standard numbers, right? Those are numbers that you find in a box score. Yeah, Chase, I know this Eagles defense was good a year ago. They confused and confounded Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid in the Super Bowl. They had the number one overall defense in the league. But let's get to the root cause for why and how the Eagles were so dominant in 2024 and how that could translate and carry over into 2025. As for the foundation of this Eagles defense, this is from Warren Sharp here. And it went a long way in determining the level of success that the Eagles had on defense a year ago. The Eagles were effective in shutting down the pass last year, holding opposing quarterbacks to under 3,000 total passing yards, fewest in the NFL, a completion percentage of only 62.2%, sixth in the NFL, and 22 passing touchdowns, sixth in the NFL. Quarterbacks also posted the league's third lowest average passer rating against Philadelphia, posting an average of just 82.5. The modern landscape of the NFL, how the game is played today, modern concepts, pre-snap motion, spreading weapons out, the array and plethora of weapons on the offensive side of the ball. The biggest point of emphasis for defenses in the NFL today is shutting down the pass game for the most part. Eagles were able to do that in 2024. And they did it when their defensive team spending was 27th in the NFL in 2024 and 30th in 2025. That means this year, the Eagles are spending the third fewest dollars on the defensive side of the ball among the 32 teams in the NFL. Of course, they do have to replace a lot of marquee players who were on this Eagles defense last year. All of them meant a lot. Philadelphia has to replace more than 4,000 snaps lost. But thanks to Howie Roseman, he has been fiscally smart with this Eagles defense. Obviously, that is going to change when Jalen Carter gets paid. But he's also built a talented unit that has a lot of depth. Now, last year in 2024, the Eagles offense, they were pretty much top 10 in every statistical category. They played the number one easiest schedule of opposing defenses. But the defense's job was a lot more difficult. The Eagles defense played the 18th toughest schedule of offenses. And you look at some of these numbers as we comb through them here. Defensive points per drive. In 2023, under Sean Desai and Matt Patricia, the Eagles ranked 30th. In 2024, Philadelphia ranked 2nd. That is the Vic Fangio influence right there. And the increase in defensive acumen from Patricia and Desai to Fangio, it needs to be studied. Punts per drive in 2023, the Eagles ranked 26th. In 2024, they were 3rd. 3-and-out rate. That's always a great stat because it keeps your defense fresh and energized, especially for late in games when they need to empty the tank. 2023, 29th. 2024, 1st in the league. Yards per drive. The Eagles in 2023, 30th. So 3rd lowest in the NFL. In 2024, number 7 in the league. And then down set conversion rate. This is a stat of every time a team is able to pick up a new set of downs and refresh the down and distance. 2023, 31st. Second to last in the NFL. In 2024, Philadelphia was 3rd. The Eagles also allowed 120 points to be scored on early downs. That was number 1 in the NFL. And their pass defense, furthermore, was buckled up, dominant, very impressive. And remember, they had 2 rookies starting in that secondary with Quinyon Mitchell and Cooper DeJean. You think they can't continue to get better? Number 2 in EPA per attempt, the Eagles' pass defense was. Number 1 in success rate at 38%. And they were number 1 in yards per attempt at 6. And I know what a lot of you are thinking. Chase, last year was last year. Partially true. And yeah, I totally get where you're coming from. Chase, the Eagles have lost a lot of players on defense, right? And yes, they certainly have. Darius Slay, Milton Williams, Josh Sweat, Brandon Graham, CJ Gardner-Johnson, Isaiah Rodgers. But there's one constant for this Eagles defense. And these numbers go to show you the Vic Fangio influence. Some of that personnel was on the Eagles team in 2023. Some of it, of course, was different. But the one constant last year going into 2025 is that the Eagles still have the same defensive coordinator in Fangio. The offense is going to look a little bit different. Kellen Moore is the head coach of the New Orleans Saints. Doug Nussmeier, who was the quarterback's coach, followed Moore to New Orleans. He's their OC. But on defense, this defensive staff has not changed. And with how drastic the numbers went from 2 years ago to last year, it all has to do with this man here to my right. And what's coming up next here on the show is that when the league zigs, Vic Fangio has been able to zag. In business and sports, you always have to adapt and evolve. Fangio has been able to do that throughout his coaching career, which is why he's one of the best defensive minds in the history of the NFL. So myself and Chip, we're going to share the screen here and read off some of these numbers. Fangio's defense played the number 9 highest rate of zone coverage, 73% of pass plays. Unlike most teams using a lot of too high safety looks, the Eagles played the NFL's lowest rate of cover 2 and the NFL's highest rate of cover 6. They blended in quarters to increase their total quantity of 2 high coverages, and they used the number 9 highest rate of cover 3. The Fangio defense is constructed to prevent big plays. As a result, Fangio's defenses force you to drive efficiently to the red zone. And if you can make it that far, stuff you before you can score a touchdown. I'm fine with giving up yards personally. Don't give up points. Furthermore, Fangio's red zone defenses are so formidable that when I consulted for a specific team, we strategized play calls to score touchdowns from just outside the red zone territory by calling several more explosive shots before entering the red zone and then needing to score in the condensed space. Isn't that fascinating? Under Fangio, the Eagles improved from number 31 inside the red zone in 2023 to number 5 in 2024. Another massive improvement came in third down defense. In 2023, the Eagles ranked dead last against third down passes, allowing a whopping 42% of first down conversions. Chip and I went crazy in 2023 with the amount of times, the frequency, and the easiness, if you will, to how teams were able to pick up first downs on third down, especially throwing the ball, obviously. The Eagles also ranked number 32 in success rate, number 31 in EPA per play, number 29 in yards per attempt, and 29 in touchdown to interception ratio. But under Fangio in 2024, the Eagles ranked number 2 in third down conversion rate, number 1 in success rate, number 3 in EPA per play, number 8 in yards per attempt, and number 7 in touchdown to interception ratio. On third down passes, Fangio had the Eagles blitz at the NFL's number 30 rate, sending extra rushers on only 19% of dropbacks. Average, 29%, 10% lower than the NFL average. They played man coverage at the NFL's number 29 rate. Instead, the Eagles played a lot of zone. Specifically, they played the number 1 highest rate of cover 6, 24%, and the number 1 highest rate of quarters, 21%, on all third downs. Again, what did I say just moments ago? When the league zigs, Vic Fangio zags, and vice versa. Consequently, the Eagles did the NFL's number 32 rate, dead last, of cover 2, less than 1%, and played no two-man on third down. A general principle I've used for years with success in the NFL is the concept of teams doing something different and doing it well. This almost always relates to the offensive side of the ball. But for the Eagles and Fangio, it is on the defensive side of the ball. The NFL is playing 15% of all passes with cover 2. The Eagles never play it. The NFL averaged 5% cover 6 on third down. The Eagles are number 1 at 23.4%. The only team to top 13%, Philadelphia. The NFL, 29% blitz on third down. The Eagles, number 30 at 20%. Of course, I always say this, the real ones know. If you can get pressure without blitzing, it makes your back end job so much easier. A massive reason and a key pillar to how the Eagles were able to shellac Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid, and that Chiefs offense, they did not blitz at all. And they hounded that Chiefs offensive line. Patrick Mahomes was under siege all day, and it led to Mahomes turning the ball over 3 times. They got the strip sack, the Zach Bond pick in the red zone, and the Cooper DeJean pick 6. All of those trends, all of those numbers, that philosophical thinking, just the football mind, that is incredible coaching and incredible game planning. And it's important to emphasize to everybody that, yes, this Eagles defense going to look a little bit different as far as personnel. They weren't paying Milton Williams $26 million per year. They weren't paying Josh Sweat $19 million per year. The defense is still really good. Moro Ajomo can be better than Milton Williams. Keely Ringo has a lot of ability to take over for Darius Slay. Nolan Smith, Jalix Hunt, next up for Joshua and Brandon Graham. Now, you worry about some of the depth at those certain positions, yeah, but this is also an Eagles team that not only is still being really good and talented, is also pretty deep because of how Howie Roseman has been in his bag with the NFL draft the last few years. Wanted to relay all of that information to you because I feel as though a lot of people might be worried about this Eagles defense going into this year. They're in really good hands. Thanks to Vic Fangio and all of those numbers, all of those trends, game-changing for 2025. If you enjoyed today's show and you're still watching, I appreciate you so much. I can't tell you how much I thank you for supporting the show. But type real one so that I know you're still here.